you end up catching feelings. And then you say, you know what, let me just give it a try. And then you fall in love with this person that you already knew was temporary, but you end up trying to place what's temporary in a permanent position when you knew the whole time that wasn't what you needed. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And baby, today's episode is brought to you by my Embrace the Wait 28-day challenge. We are kicking off week 3 of the Embrace the Wait challenge that is all about dating in a way that guards your heart. Because listen, it's ghetto out here. And if you're not dating in a way that guards your heart, I already know you hate dating. One of my top viewed podcasts is Here's Why You Hate Dating, because I know y'all hate dating. It's very ghetto, but it's only ghetto when you're doing it in not the best way, because when you're doing it in a way that's not guarding your heart, you're letting people in that you should not let in. You're moving faster than you should be moving. And you're putting your eggs in the wrong baskets. So in week 3, I teach you how to not do that, baby, because we're dating in ways to guard our hearts. Because listen, I'm out here blocking all counterfeits this year. You see it. You see how I'm blocking. And if you're not watching, I'm blocking, okay? I'm Heisman on all the counterfeits this year, okay? So that's how I'm doing it, because I'm dating in a way that guards my heart. Now, if you want to hear more about the Embrace the Wait 28-day challenge, I'm finna tell you about it, okay? So this program is designed for women who are frustrated in their singleness. If you are exhausted with being single, if you are tired and disappointed with all the negative dating experiences you've had, and you are really like this close to giving up on dating altogether, then here is what I need you to do. I need you to learn how to steward the space that you are in well. What do I mean by that? I've realized that there is a space between where you are right now as a single woman and when you meet the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Because I believe that if you have that desire in your heart, you can end up in your happily ever after. The happily ever after, not the toxic ever after, because I don't want you to just pick any man. I want you to pick the right man, okay? So how you steward this space between where you are now and where you wish to be, which is married to your man forever, is going to be imperative to how you show up and if you show up. Because I noticed something. Most women show up one of 3 ways. 1, you show up resistant because you've been disappointed by love so much. Not even love. You've been disappointed by dating so much because every dating experience seems to end the same. You tired of these fools playing with your time. You tired of them seeming to waste your time. So you skeptical about everybody. So not only do you push out the bad guys, you push out the good guys too. You push everybody away. I don't want you to show up like that. The second way you might show up is you show up unsure of yourself because you feel like every dating scenario keeps ending and it keeps failing. And now you're starting to blame yourself. You're starting to wondering, dang, is it me? Am I the reason? Like, what's going on? I don't want you to show up like that, because when you show up like that, you're going to self-sabotage. Some of y'all not showing up at all. And you missing all the shots you don't take. You done said, listen, these fools ain't finna play with me no more. So I'm not about to even come out here and date no more. Now you done lost hope and love. And I know you really want love deep down inside, but fear is blocking you. I don't want that for you. So the Embrace the Wait 28-day challenge is meant to help you find peace in where you are in this interim from being single to finding the love of your life. 2, date with confidence, but in a way that guards your heart. And 3, hope for love again, because that's what I want for you. I'm giving you these tools in a practical way in 28 days. So the rest of your 2024 is going to be jubilant, okay? Joyful. You ain't heard jubilant in a while. I ain't even know where that came from. But that's what it's going to be when you learn how to embrace the wait. So if you have more questions about the Embrace the Wait 28-day challenge, email me at info@SingleWomanChronicles.com, or you could just click the link below. Check out the page that's telling you everything that it comes with. It comes with 4 webinars, a 28-day ebook that is digital, and 28 encouraging prayers that's going to keep you right during this journey. So if you're ready to join the Embrace the Wait 28-day challenge, email me or go ahead and click below and let's get started. All right. So today's topic is common blind spots that are keeping women single. So it's too many people out here telling women what we need to do in order to get a man. And I think that some of y'all have done all of those things and you still single. And I realize that Some parts are internal that you're not paying attention to because you're too busy paying attention to the shallow things that the world is yelling at you. Some of these shallow things include, if you are a certain age, you need to date this kind of guy. Or if you are too masculine, then you need to be more feminine. Or if you look this way, you need to lose weight and do this. Or you need to dress like this. Or you need to do X, Y. All these shallow things that are making you ignore the internal things that can also be keeping you single. Because the internal things to me are more important than the shallow things. Because also the internal things are things you can actually control. So let's talk about it. So what inspired me to even do this podcast is I was watching Jennifer, what's her last name? Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives. So she has a documentary called My True Scam Story. She got scammed out of her Range Rover and out of $40,000. And many people will be like, oh, she's naive, she's stupid, XYZ. But if we're being honest, the only reason some of y'all ain't got scammed out of $40,000 in a Range Rover is because you don't have $40,000 in a Range Rover. Because the reason she got scammed, I don't think it's necessarily that she's stupid. I think a few reasons. I think one, he found her in a vulnerable state. She had lost her mom and she was still healing from that. So she was very vulnerable because she said one thing that one reason she thought he was a good dude is because he told her his birthday was on the same day that her mom died. So she was very vulnerable. Two, she said that she was a hopeless romantic. Being a hopeless romantic caused her to trust too soon. Trust people too soon. She did not check these credentials. She didn't give herself time to really get to know this person. She trusted way too soon because she was a hopeless romantic. And then three, she basically was too giving, just way too giving. She gave her heart quick. She gave her money quick. She just give. And listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with being trusting. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a giver. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a romantic, not a hopeless romantic, but a romantic. But I think I know we all need to use discernment when we're doing this stuff. You need to be discerning out here in these dating streets. So this leads me to my first thing that is keeping women single. The first blind spot. How you picking these men? Some of y'all be picking the dustiest, dirtiest, raggediest, flu-footedest. Is it flu-foot or slew-foot? One of them footedest men. And then they gonna go break your heart. Then you gonna go and pick another slew-foot, raggedy, dusty booty man. And he break your heart. And then you start to blame all men and think it's all men's fault. But it's really just the flu-foot, stupid, raggedy man that you was dating. And you picking. And listen, I am not that girl who's finna sit up here because you already know the red pill, blue pill, yellow pill. I don't know about these pills. But these peeled men be out here talking about, oh, women, y'all need to pick better. It is hard to pick when the quality is just so low, okay? Because a lot of these dudes are dusty. But at the same time, I don't want you to just totally abandon the fact that picking correctly is vital. Because if you keep picking wrong, you're hurting yourself at that point. You're hurting yourself. Because how you pick is how your relationship is going to turn out. If you pick the wrong person who is not compatible with you, who does not have your best interest at heart, they are going to break your heart. Or you're going to end up in a relationship that does not make you happy. So you're going to feel miserable in that relationship. You don't want that. So you want to spend more time trying to get to know somebody, trying to pace yourself, trying to figure out if this person is it, versus spending time trying to get your physical needs met, trying to get your companionship needs met. Because I realize this. A lot of women pick wrong, not just because they're naive or something like that. No, sometimes they're just vulnerable. Kind of like Jennifer. They just wanted to feel something. When you want to feel something, you will pick someone wrong sometimes. If you're in a stage of vulnerability, most of the time you're going to pick wrong. But sometimes you just want to feel something. Sometimes you've been lonely for a minute. Sometimes you going through something emotionally and you just want a man to just hold you, just come up behind you and hold your waist and hold your shoulders, right? So you just go out here and you see these guys and you're like, oh, he's good enough. He's decent. He all right for now. Then you take your all right for now, and then y'all start dating and you end up catching feelings. And then you say, you know what? Let me just give it a try. And then you fall in love with this person that you already knew was temporary, but you end up trying to place what's temporary in a permanent position when you knew the whole time that wasn't what you needed. Because you picked wrong. That's why you single. Because you can't think that you about to pick wrong and end up in a happily ever after. That just don't make sense. So that's number one. I hope I ain't making y'all upset, but that's number one on what's a common blind spot keeping a lot of women single. Number two, expecting the end at the beginning. Now, I used to have a master's degree and expecting the end at the beginning. Okay. I would do things like tell a person all of my flaws on day 2 just to see if they would run, because I felt that I would be abandoned. I had a fear of abandonment. So immediately when I started to like someone, I would get very anxious about it. And in order to protect myself, I wanted to pour everything out onto them to make sure that all of who I was, flaws and all, wouldn't disqualify me from being with them. So I would lead with my flaws instead of how awesome I am. Because I felt like if I led with my flaws, they can get out. If they were going to leave, they could leave now. And guess what that's called? Self-sabotage. It's exactly what that's called. So if you are the type of person that as soon as you start liking somebody, you immediately feel all this pressure to let them know all the bad things about yourself, or to ask them or joke about, one of the favorite jokes, because right now we almost at Valentine's Day, right? So if you dating somebody and you done already joked about, oh, I hope we're still dating on Valentine's Day, that kind of stuff, that joke, you're expecting the end at the beginning. You're already expecting it. You're not expecting good things. And when you're already doing that, you're setting yourself up to create that ending, because it's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't want you to keep doing that. I need you to stop. I need you to take a minute and understand that the right person is going to stay and the wrong person will leave. Guess what? A win is still a win, because if the right person stays, happily ever after. But if the wrong person leaves, still happily ever after. So just vibe out. Show up as the best version of yourself, knowing that if it doesn't work out, you still gonna end up with the right person in the end. And that's the type of attitudes you have to have. You can't see doomsday every time you meet someone. You have to learn how to overcome that anxiousness, that fear of abandonment, that fear of, liking someone a lot and then breaking your heart. You have to overcome that. You cannot let fear rule you. You gotta build up what I call your dating resilience, your ability to bounce back from all dating scenarios, be them good or be them bad. You can do it. You can do it. You got it. Number 3, emotional dysregulation. Okay, so emotional dysregulation is basically a psychological term that describes your inability to control an emotion at a certain period of time. People keep commenting under my videos that I be making words up. Baby, I don't. I just have a master's in positive psychology. So certain words are just psychological terms that you probably wouldn't hear on a day-to-day, but they're actually real terms. Like if you look them up and you Google them, they're probably going to come up in Psych Central, Psychology Today, Google Scholar. Because baby, your girl's educated. I don't just get on here and tell y'all what to do just because I have an opinion. No, I have a master's in positive psychology for that reason. I didn't just want to give people advice because I thought I was a good advice giver. No, I wanted to go to school to study this stuff. And I'm actually intrigued by this stuff. I love to understand why people do certain things that they do. So one thing is emotional dysregulation. So emotional dysregulation can cause you to do a few things. But in dating, it can cause you to seek unhealthy self-soothing things or just soothing things that aren't self-soothing. So for example, I'm gonna give you some. You just had another failed talking stage and you sitting at home and you crying and you really just want this emotion to go away, but you don't know how to feel better about this situation. So instead of just sitting in it, instead of just allowing yourself to grieve this failed talking stage, because it's okay to grieve them all, you go and you get really drunk and you pass out. Or you go get really drunk, you call your ex, or you call that, or you text that person that they saved in your phone as don't answer, and you tell them come over. Or you say, I'm going to just go outside and meet somebody randomly, and you allow them to take you home. Or this person who the failed talking stage ended, you send them a text or you leave them a voicemail and you cuss them clean out. You leave that on their voicemail. Or you send them like a long paragraph. You have an inability to control your emotions. And emotional dysregulation keeps you single because in moments where you can just take a breather, give a person space, you again self-sabotage by doing too much. Now, another example is, I'm going to use myself. There have been times in the past that I'm not so proud of. And this is in my early 20s. Right now, I'm 34, thriving, emotionally regulated. This girl is on it, okay? I can regulate an emotion like that, okay? But it took time, work, discipline. But before, I've had moments where the punishment did not fit the crime. Meaning, a guy did something to me, and I cussed him out. I pulled up at his crib. I didn't give him space to process things. And ultimately, they'll push any person away. Because I can think about times where I've had guys do that to me, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a turn up. I don't want that. So those are moments, teachable moments, where if you learn how to emotionally regulate, you won't overreact in moments where you take yourself so far that you ultimately push someone away, but also you don't feel that shame either, because I've had moments where I felt ashamed of how I acted. So that made me feel insecure. That made me question my value in that moment. And that made me feel like, dang, maybe I'm not worthy of this person. Maybe this person doesn't like me. And that made me push them away because, again, self-sabotage. So it's all a cycle. So I want you to learn how to be emotionally regulated. I want you to learn how to pick properly. And I want you to learn how to stop expecting the end at the beginning, because you can do it. Again, the Embrace the Wait 28-day challenge teaches about all of this stuff, because I want you guys to have peace. When you have peace, my favorite quote, somebody once said, peace is a calm nervous system. When you go into dating, do you feel a calm nervous system, or does all hell break loose in your anxiety? And you just super anxious. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to do it. You already mad because somebody texts you and they text you what you doing and you don't like that. Like, that's already letting me know you don't have peace in your dating. You don't have peace in your singleness. And I want you to have peace, baby. Peace, because you can have it. Okay, you can have it. I promise you that you can. But also, I want you to understand that many reasons why we're single, it is things that we can work on our own. Now, sometimes it genuinely could just be you haven't met the right one. Because that's the boat I'm in, baby. I just haven't met the right person. But I have hope that I will very soon. Like, he's coming. I get approached quite often. But I just be throwing, nope. Y'all, I got approached twice at church yesterday. It's like really crazy. It's like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? But I know that light is shining because I'm at peace. I got joy, and I know that my love is coming, and I want the same for you. So sometimes it could just be that you haven't met the right person. But sometimes you're not even putting yourself out there. You're questioning your worth. You're questioning your value. And that is just not what I want for you. So I want you to go into this thing confidently, understanding that all dating scenarios did not have to end the same. Understanding that just because you like somebody doesn't mean that they're going to abandon you. And also understanding that just because somebody did something wrong to you, you don't have to cuss them out. You don't have to pull up on them. You don't have to block them. You don't have to text them good night at 3 p.m. You don't have to do that. There are other ways. There are other ways, okay? So if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and share, and subscribe if you have not subscribed. Comment below if you feel me, if you've done any of these things, if you're brave enough to comment that. But I just want y'all to be free in 2024 of doing these things, because you can take control of your love life. I'm telling you, you can take control of your singleness. I know for a long time I felt like I was a victim to being single. Honestly, that's why I started Single Woman Chronicles, because I was a frustrated single woman. I was discontent. I was in a space where I genuinely did not like to be alone. But I learned to overcome all of those things. And the peace that I have, it exudes when I walk into a room. People already know, like, sister's chilling. She ain't worried about nothing. Ain't that what French Montana said? Sis ain't worried about nothing. And I want the same thing for you. So let's be better in 2024. Let's steward our weight well. Let's steward our singleness well. Okay. All right. Until next time. Bye.